It's time for our board elections. Currently, we have Ms. Russell, who serves as the chair, and then the vice chair is vacant, correct? It's currently vacant, okay? So those are the two that we need to elect at this time. All right, so Ms. Russell will step down, and then we'll open the floor for nominations for vice chair. We can do vice chair first, we can do chair. Let's do chair first. So the floor is now open for nominations for chair of our Alameda County School Board for the 2025-26 school year.
Dr. Faith, I nominate Catherine Russell, be our chair for 25-26.
Okay, we have one nomination. Are there any other nominations? Seeing no nominations, I'll need a motion for us to close on the said name. So then we can vote by acclamation, if everybody just votes unanimously. All in favor of the said name, Catherine Russell will remain the chair of the Board of Education of Alameda County Schools, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposes? Okay, congratulations, Ms. Russell. All right, I will continue with. I'll continue with the nominations for vice chair. Ms. Russell, you can do those since you are in the chair seat now.
Okay. I nominate Ms. Chastity Myers. Do we have another? All in favor of Ms. Myers, let it be known by saying aye. Ms. Myers will be our vice chair. Congratulations.
As I said, by board policy, I remain the secretary.
Now we're down to special education.
So this is an exciting time for me tonight. I came September 5th, 2023. And this is the first opportunity for us to really do a board recognition. So January across the state of South Carolina, not in every nation, not in every state, but in South Carolina, we celebrate School Board Month. So this is School Board. So tonight, I'd like to thank the school board for your dedication and support over the time that I have been here. You support the children, you support the community, and I'm very grateful. We're all very grateful. This time, will you join me in rising to the occasion and giving us We have some wonderful recognitions for you tonight, and we're going to start with our schools. So, can all of our schools just come forward? So I did something this year that I didn't do before. So every school entity department was assigned a school board member. That's why I asked you, I sent you that text saying I need to know your favorite things. All right, so they have put together some of your favorite things. So, Ms. Lee, can we start with the elementary?
We will. Good evening to everyone. My board member was Ms. Althea Carter. I've been knowing Ms. Carter for many, many years. She did send me some of her likes. And we have a common like in that we both like pink. And so on behalf, first of all, happy board member appreciation month. And on behalf of the faculty, staff, and students of Allendale Fairfax Elementary
So she loves red.
Yeah.
And she loves her black. So all things red and black. Thank you so very much. We have one additional gift for the board members, and it comes from our district office. Somebody can help me give each person. It has some Aladale Fairfax. You can't be on the board if you don't have Aladale Fairfax paraphernalia. So it has an umbrella, it has a blanket, it has a cup, it has all kinds of things in it. All things AF. Once a tiger, always a tiger.
Good evening, and on behalf of the Office of Human Resources, we would like to also present you with this badge.
All right, I think that's all for appreciation.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
And we have one last thing, and it's always really special, when you have someone who can offer their thanks in song. So, our very own outstanding, phenomenal, marvelous, whatever you wanna call it, choral director, Mr. Howard Davis, is going to, sing your thank you song.
If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with word or song, if I can show
appreciate it at this point. So let's get down to business. So it's superintendent's operational update. I am going to actually step aside because, our financial auditor is here. And, that company is gonna come and just give you a summary of our audit report, and then I'll come back. Okay?
Good evening, Madam Chairman, Dr. Kay, members of the board. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of McGregor and Company to present the district's June 30, 2024 financial statements. The financial statements are due each year by December 1st. They're to be uploaded to the LAR system through the South Carolina Department of Education. And of course, we met that deadline this year and have for the last several years. Our auditors, independent auditors report on the financial statements notes that we're required to be independent and meet other ethical responsibilities related to the audit. In performing the audit, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism. We identify and assess risks of material misstatement in the financial statements and design and perform audit procedures to respond to those risks. We obtain an understanding of internal controls, but do not express an opinion on their effectiveness. We evaluate accounting policies and estimates made by management and evaluate whether there is a substantial doubt about the district's ability to continue as a going concern. Our independent auditor's report was dated November the 12th of 2024, and our opinions on the governmental activities in each major fund of the district are clean opinions. There's a management's discussion and analysis towards the beginning right behind the auditor's report that provides some financial highlights, an overview of what's reported in each of the statements, an analysis of the district's funds and any significant debt or capital asset transactions during the year. And it's also the only place where you would find comparative information comparing this past year to the year before. In your government-wide statements, that follows the management's discussion and analysis, and it presents the district's financial statements similar to the way a private business reports their assets and liabilities, where all of your assets, including capital assets and all of the debt of the district's included there. This shows that the district has a positive net position in June 30, 2024 of $11.7 million, and that was compared to a negative net position last year of $7.6 million. So the overall increase in the government-wide net position was $19.4 million. Now, the majority of this $19.4 million increase was due to the $15 million that the district received from the state of South Carolina's lawsuit with the Department of Energy related to its failure to remove plutonium stored at Standard River site. And these funds were restricted to be used for capital improvements in the district, which you of course know. The general fund and the fund financial statements which follow this shows an increase in fund balance for the year of $1,487,840. At June 30th, 2024, the total fund balance in the general fund was $14.9 million, which is 112% of your general fund expenditures for 2024. So the fund balance of approximately 20% of expenditures is considered a healthy fund balance. So you more than offset that. Special projects has a fund balance of $189,000 for people activity funds and $95,000 for Medicaid funding at year end. Food service fund has an ending fund balance of $339,000, which is approximately 32% of its annual expenditures for the year. Debt service is in strong shape with a fund balance at June 30th of $1.4 million. The district did not incur any new debt and paid principal on its outstanding debt of $1.2 million during the fiscal year. And finally, the district had $17 million in fund balance for capital projects, which includes that $15 million in lawsuit funds. For your general fund budget to actual, revenues in total were $1.67 million over budget. Expenditures were budgeted at $15 million, where actual expenditures were $13.2 million, resulting in a favorable variance there of $1.8 million. Operating transfers were budgeted to net $778,000, budget was projected to, dip it with prior year's fund balance by $735,000, but you actually ended up, adding $1,487,000 to the previous fund balance. The district expended $6.5 million in federal funds during the year compared to $6.7 million in the previous year. We have to look at various criteria related to risk and the size of the programs to determine which we're gonna test for, internal controls over compliance and also compliance with the grant requirements. So we tested ESSER as our major program for '24, and it took $3.4 million of the $6.5 million expended. And we did not have any findings related to financial statements. And I'll be happy to try to answer any questions you may have at this time.
We will make sure they have time. Any questions?
Well, I would like to, just take a minute to thank Dr. Cade and Mrs. Grant, Finance Office, and the district office staff. They are very cordial and accommodating of us when we're here and are wonderful about giving us what we need to get these financial statements done. And they get every year, so appreciate them. Thank you.
I'd like to take this opportunity just to thank our finance department under the leadership of Ms. Grant, Ms. Angela Grant. They do an awesome job. All right, now we'll move on, and you can draw your attention to we have a PowerPoint on my presentation. So there, I'm gonna pull this out just a minute. So you can see it this direct. I make sure you get a copy of this one. I'll get you to see it. All right. So Allendale County School Board meeting, I just wanna tell you a little bit about where we are. Yeah, we have both of them. Good. Can you turn one so that the board can see it? Is that possible? Okay, and then you can see them. So I'll be quick as possible, but try to be as thorough. So I always tell you everything that I've been doing for the last month since we came from the last board meeting up to now. So we've had a district leadership team, PLC. We worked on our strategic compensation pilot grant. That is the money, that the State Department, will award us if they approve our grant, for funding our teachers who make substantial progress. You know, last year we gave substantial amounts of money, so we have applied for that as well. If they don't fund it, we're gonna fund it anyway because we put it in our budget. First Steps Forward, a community Christmas celebration, I attended that meeting as well. And actually, I participated in the program, I was a speaker. And then we had a Stop the Violence kickoff, that is a grant that we have for bullying, with Clemson University. We had a lot of work on the cell phone policy review and topics of importance in our principals and APs. We've had budget planning meeting with our cabinet, we've had like 2 of those, it lasted all day, so we're working on our budget and making those cuts that we need. We've had a data breach briefing, as you recall, an email went out today. There's been I guess more than a nationwide, it's been an international data breach with Power School. No fault of our own at the school district, but there has been a nationwide data breach. And that data breach, we've been getting briefings on it and information about it. And if your data is one that has been compromised by any hackers, then you will get an individual piece of correspondence from Power School. And we'll be providing as many updates as possible to the community on that. But we're moving right along. Parenting Partners graduation, that came out of the Office of Federal Programs and our parent liaison. How many graduates did we have? We had 20 graduates that happened. of Parenting University. So we're one of our own board members graduated from it as well. I hold data meetings. In order for us to get out of the difficulty we find ourselves in, we have to have data meetings. So they have data meetings at all three of our schools. I attend those that I can. Family literacy and wellness kickoff, we have that here. We probably have maybe about 60 or 65 people in attendance, where we have partnered with an organization called Twin City Project Outreach Mission with Mary McLeod Bethune Foundation, and they have provided all of our middle school children who signed up a literacy kind of digital iPad. It looks like an iPad, but it's a tablet where they can download. It already has loaded on it several different types of applications where our children can learn read, phonics, writing, lots of things. So parental community, if you have a middle school child and that child has not signed up, there's still the opportunity for them to sign up and get one of the digital tools, because we need our children reading at all means and all time. I already have the PowerSchool data breach. There are 2 links that are in the PowerPoint there, and I'll make sure that you get those so you can read more information about the data breach. There are only 4 districts in the state of South Carolina that were not affected. We're not one of them. Okay, so everybody was affected. I wanted to go over our enrollment numbers, and the reason I'm doing that because we're in data season. We're in planning season with the budget. We're small, but we're moving towards mighty. Okay, so our high school has 245 students, our middle school has 189, and our elementary school has 403. I wanted you to kind of know how many are at each grade level. So around first grade, we have about 62, kindergarten, excuse me. Let me start with pre-K4. So pre-K4 has 37, kindergarten has 57, first grade has 62, second grade has 43. The numbers might be off as students come in and out when this was put together. Third grade has 67, fourth grade has 51, fifth grade has 62. Our ninth graders, that particular cohort has 73. I skipped the whole middle school, sorry. Sixth grade has 66, seventh grade 64, eighth grade 59. And then our cohorts is how we operate in high school. And I'd love for all of those children to be realized and come across the stage. And it may be off, give or take a number. Ninth grade we have 73, 10th about 65, 11th 44 that are in the building, okay? And then 12th that are 53. Know that this comes from PowerSchool, so if a child has not realized the number of credits, then they are not counted in that particular group, okay? So parents, I encourage you, if your children passing their courses, let them get the help that they need so that they can stay on track for graduation. Because all of that counts as we try to get out of the difficulty we find ourselves in under State Department control. Okay? All right. I'll continue with my update here. So athletics, everybody knows that we made a reboot of athletics. And we have some requirements. Basketball season is upon us. Only 16 and under accompanied by an adult. IDs required of all. SRO and law enforcement sit among the fans. We limit the number of persons in the concession area, and all things are working well so far. We are making some changes to the schedule due to the severe weather causing closings and cancellations. And if there's a new schedule to be released, it will be released soon. And I can say that we have some wonderful administrators who work the games. And I tell you, one night I was here, Ms. Anderson was definitely the police out here in this section here. She was making sure that everybody was where they needed to be. And that's how we keep things safe for everybody to be able. Okay. Curriculum and instruction, of course, that's the driving force of the school district. We have monthly progress monitoring meetings. We have differentiated professional development, so we try to meet the needs of all of our teachers and our children. Instructional rounds, that's where we walk around and we see what teachers are doing. It's not to put them on the spot, not to make them nervous, but in order for us to make sure that we're able to provide all the support that they need. We have a lot of upcoming professional development. We have monthly teacher induction programs that go on. February 14th, we'll have a district-wide professional Professional Development Department and School Specific, March 21st. For the first time in our history, we're going to have additional wellness day. You can't keep your employees if you don't concentrate on their mental health and their well-being. So we're not gonna learn a whole lot that day, I might as well tell you. We're gonna concentrate on wellness. We're gonna play some games, we're gonna eat some great food, we're gonna get our nails done, our hair done, we'll get our barber shop, we're gonna do some great things for the employees. It's all gonna be, we're gonna get some massages, all of those things. What else? Is that it?
He did everything that we can think of.
So it's gonna be all about wellness for all of our employees. I think they deserve it. And then classroom observations, we have weekly expectations that happen there. And our January through May focus has been, we have an instructional domain, and of course, our teachers are responsible for filling all of the components and standards and 4.0 rubric. Right? So we had e-learning day, so parents take note. You know, we've been out for a week because of the snow. So there's only so many days that we can be out without having to make up some. So we gotta make up some, children. We'll have to come to school when we need to be off, okay? Our makeup days are February 17th and 18th. That's intercession time. That's just the prime time to take it away. So I know everybody wants to be off. February 17th and 18th, we're gonna have to make up some instructional time. Expectations, they need to have their work done, and if they have any standards-based packets that were sent home, they need to make sure that those were completed. We continue to have our after-school programs at the elementary school and the middle school, as well as, the middle school is planning for STEM Day, and our summer school planning has already gone underway. I'm not sure the dates yet, but as soon as those are realized, I will let you know that as well. Okay? Student Services Department provided us a report. Every year we receive funds from the state for us to have CPR training, and we did that. We had 20 staff members of the school level crisis teams that completed the training. So you can give all of those. We got 20 people that are CPR certified. And thanks to Mr. Carter for organizing that, and I believe Nurse Bryan helped with that. Say it again.
Miss Pickering.
Miss Pickering, oh, I'm sorry, she has a married name, those married names. Miss Pickering, I apologize. I mentioned it. So I apologize. But Nurse Pickering, okay, is that the husband sitting beside you? I apologize, Mr. Pickering. A little laughter is always good. All right. Assessment and accountability. You can't know where children are if we don't test them, right? So a lot of people say there's a lot of testing. Well, there is a lot of testing. But that testing is so that we can predict where we're gonna achieve and we can fill in the gaps. So we have grade 4 science, grade 6 science, our grade 9 through 12 will be taking the inner course in U.S. history, English 2, algebra 1, and biology. And then we have upcoming access for ELLs. That's our children who do not speak English, their first language, February 24th through March 7th. We have our career readiness assessment WIN, March 24th through April 18th. We have ACT March 26th, and iReady for grades K through, K through 8. iReady assessment, K through 9. It's going to be April 8th through the 11th, and then we'll have some end of the year testing schedule. We'll share that in February as to exactly how we're going to do our end of the year testing. Okay? Any questions for me at this point? All right, Dr. Miller, you're up.
Good evening, everyone. So on behalf of the Office of Human Resources, I want to give you an update. As I said on last, I think it was December, or maybe in November, 11 FTEs seem to just be the number that's staying with us. It's not that every single one of those FTEs do not have a teacher in them. Some of those positions have long-term subs. Some of those positions actually have virtual teachers. So we still include them in the number, okay? So currently, at the elementary school, we have a 5th grade teacher vacancy that's being held by our interventionist. We have a media specialist position and an art teacher position But we do have possible prospects from the Teacher of Color Recruitment Fair. I had an opportunity to go to Atlanta, and it was a great experience. Mr. Davis went along with me to help with that recruitment. And so we actually have several candidates that we're going to be looking at beginning tomorrow, calling them back and looking into their resumes and how they're going to actually fit. Some of them may actually be able to fill voids right now, and some of them may be able to fill voids in the 25-26 school year. Okay, but just to roughly give you an estimate of that, we had probably about 15 to 20 people that are pretty good prospects. You're talking about Atlanta to transition to Allendale, but Mr. Davis and I think we were able to convince some of them. And so with that being said, out of the 20, we're thinking maybe about 10. We really believe that we might be able to get those individuals here. For Allendale Fairfax Middle School, the 6th grade math teacher position as well as the 8th grade math teacher position are still vacant, although they are being taught by a full-time virtual learning teacher. I do have this to say, and congratulations to the middle school, is that today they actually have a math interventionist that actually began today, Mr. Gabriel Manuel. And so it was very interesting because that position is going to help us deal with our low performing students in the middle school in the area of math. And that's going to help us between now and the end. Okay? Fairfax High School, we have 2 math teacher positions, a Spanish position, building construction teacher position, a STEM esports teacher, and an athletic trainer position. That was all certified. For classified, as you can see, we had no vacancies at elementary or middle school, but we do have a vacancy for the success coach. Unfortunately, we had someone, but then they had to back out at the last minute, so we're back to square one, being able to fulfill that position. We actually have either 1 full-time or 2 part-time food service operating positions, and then also our head high school football coach position. For the last few weeks, we have been doing interviews. We did a round 1, and then on today, we did our round 2 interviews. So a decision is forthcoming in regards to that. District office, bus driver position, we do have 1 position that's still vacant. So what's happening in HR? We're diligently working with Soliant, as well as university instructors. They are both outside external agencies that help us to staff. And I really like Soliant, but I also like university instructors because they have wraparound supports. So they'll be able to bring in specific academic coaches that will actually help those teachers that we bring in. So that is a fairly new partnership, and we're hoping to reap some benefits from there. The South Carolina Teacher Working Conditions Survey, we are participating in that, and that's actually ongoing now. So principals, please go remind your staff that they have until February 14th, but we're asking them to kind of complete that survey as quickly as possible, because when we get that data between May and July, we will be able to take that Teacher Working Conditions Survey, we'll be able to analyze that data, the state is helping us to do that, and then we'll be able to make some decisions pertaining to that data. We'll also be participating, my office will be participating in the USC, University of South Carolina School of Education Career Fair. That's going to be held on February 5th. Also, social media birthday shout-outs and distribution of birthday cards. We believe that climate and culture is big. So even the small things, like remembering someone's birthday and being able to give them a card and giving them a shout-out. And we've been doing social media shout-outs as well as giving birthday cards. As well as we have now been reposting the 24-25 vacant positions, making sure that those positions are accurate on our website. Also posting 25-26 vacancies for next year, making sure that those things are available now so people can have access to them and begin to apply. That's it. Thank you so much.
Any questions about vacancies? We know someone, we're hiring. All right, we have a pretty competitive salary, I think. All right. So the look ahead, we are going to have round 2 of our head football coach. We had those today. The decision has been made, and we have to wait for that person to say okay. I have the superintendent roundtable on February 6th. We'll be having instructional rounds. We have to have a district leadership data meeting, predictability meeting with SC Ready EOC. I'm going to hold a teacher advisory and student advisory. Our intercession days, we only have 1, and that's the 19th. And then we'll have those little weather makeup days, the 17th and the 18th. And then winter break will be the 20th and the 21st. take a little segue here, and before the financial report comes up, we're going to have the capital projects in our current construction. They are here, and so we look forward to hearing all about the renovation. All right. What I need to do is probably take this out. I'll give us a moment to change over. Dr. Miller, do you have the pointer?
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I don't really like standing with my back to anybody, so I'm just gonna do this awkward thing. Where I stand to the side, my name is Michelle Smith, and I am an architect and principal with McMillan Cass & Smith Architecture. We are based, we have a Southeast regional presence, but we come to you from the Charleston office. I have with me Zach Ament. He is a design professional that's been working on this project. And we have representatives from MBCon Construction, who are your program managers for the capital improvements. We have Shane, Chris, and Craig. And so we just wanted to, Dr. Cave invited us to come and provide an update to you all. We do have a bit of agenda for this portion of the program. We wanted to start off a little bit just actually listening to your questions and concerns. We know it's been a little bit of time since we've been in front of you all and with this community. So I just wanted to actually open it up to the floor to any board member or any community member who might have an initial question or comment before we give our update. Anybody wants to come forward? Well, what we may do then is go ahead and go into our update, and then we'll take a pause after we present the portions of the project. How about that? Does that sound fair? Okay, great. So we'll start with the interior renovation update, and we like to call this phase 2 of how we've been working with you all. Phase 1 was previously performed a couple of summers ago, and that was essentially an interior refresh of the entire school. We came in, we painted the walls, we replaced the ceiling tile, replaced flooring. We also cleaned flooring, the terrazzo flooring that you see here. And so after we kind of went through that first phase, we embarked on phase 2, which essentially entails a renovation of the administration spaces, the cafeteria, and your commons area here. So if we focus on the cafeteria spaces, we're really looking at renovating this space. The flooring will remain, but we are proposing to replace all of the furniture, all of the existing furniture that you see with this proposed furniture. What we'd like to do is provide a variety of seating options for your students, both the high school and the middle school. We understand that in educational facilities, being able to provide students with choice of seating goes a long way in encouraging their engagement and independence. So as you can see, we're working with the existing structure. These columns here are pretty, are pretty permanent elements that we have to work around. We wanted to celebrate them by having furniture that works with them. And then again, this is a slide showing the updated types of tables that we're proposing. So a variety of heights as well. That just helps to, encourage students different types of seating. And then this low wall over here that you see that has the benches against it, we are proposing a little bit of a different setup there. We thought it would be nice for the students to take advantage of the views to the exterior. And also, this is a little bit of a circulation path and thoroughfare for the students. So to have a type of higher bar type of seat in that area may make sense. We also are carving out a space for the seniors. That's the senior lounge area, and that's a place really designated for that particular class of students. Again, it has a different type of feel, slightly different seating, but still it has interior windows between the spaces so that it can remain over teacher site. Moving on to the commons area, this is the central area immediately outbound here of this cafeteria. And we wanted to think about these spaces together. So when we're thinking about a furniture and painting the walls for freshmen, we want to think about how these spaces are compatible with each other because they are visually connected. So we really wanted to just think about that area in the center and really making it feel like a comforting place for students to hang out, a more comfortable area for students to hang out. It is, if you do go down into it, like a little bit of a pit, but we wanted it to feel homey, but also remain with school oversight. So you can see that we're proposing different types of seating, some upholstered cushions that are attached to the walls. There is a rail so that, you can still have sight lines down into the space, but then we're also proposing some elements outbound and around that seating area, just so you have more spaces to sit and for students to gather. Obviously, it is a space that connects the main entry to the gymnasium, so ensuring there's adequate circulation through that space is also important. And here are just some other views of that space. And so we'll go a little bit into the administration area now. This is another view kind of looking back toward the main entry doors and the clerestory windows you all have. We wanted to think about one of the major things and key components of our renovation was thinking about the security of the school and how currently, when you're granted entry into the school, you're immediately entering the common space. And what we wanted to do was to capture visitors and create a more secure vestibule at the entry point. So you would enter the doors from the outside, and when you're in that entry vestibule or lobby, you can go immediately into the reception area of the school. So that is what you see here. If you're standing in that vestibule, you're looking immediately into the reception area. So we are actually moving the reception area from where it is currently so that it is closer to the main entry. Excuse me. sorry. And you can see in this view, looking through the glass door, there is visibility directly between you and someone entering that vestibule and someone behind the reception desk, so that they have direct view to who's entering the school and can grant access or not. We also are renovating the health clinic and the nurses area. We're proposing to enlarge that area. And what we all learned from COVID is that it's important to separate healthy students from non-well students. So enlarging that space became important to us. We also wanted to refresh the areas that the teachers and staff use. So we're creating an open mailbox kind of area for the teachers as well as renovating their offices. So does anybody have any questions about that particular portion of the work yet? Okay. All right. Well, I did want to go in and explain a little bit of some of the technical things that our team has been working on to integrate as part of this particular phase of the work. Not only are we working to renovate these spaces and provide proposed new furniture, we are looking at replacing all of the doors and door hardware in the school, as well as all of the lighting. And I don't want to get too bogged down in technical details, but it was very important for us to have a partner who is in the door hardware space and industry come to the school. They spent 2 days, I think, Zach, actually reviewing every single door opening to understand all of the pieces and parts that would need to be replaced. So that was something that we tackled in this phase. A second major effort that we tackled was the lighting replacement for the entire facility. So this was started, last fall. There were many things that had to go into this particular effort. We had to have our electrical engineer come down and field verify all of the existing light fixtures that are in this facility. He also had to contact Dominion, the energy company, because what he was doing, his work, interfaces with the generator requirement that serves the school to ensure that backup power is provided to these light fixtures, to certain light fixtures. So those steps, that took place this fall. Dominion was a little bit challenging to get here and to respond to our request. You all remember we had some storms come through, and whenever that happens, Dominion is a little bit harder to reach. But we worked through that. We also, in this exercise, understood that Dr. Cave and the district administration was working through some grants to acquire a new generator and replace the existing one. So we wanted to ensure that the work that we're doing is working with the work that the administrators are doing, so that we're making the best possible decisions with the dollars available, with the budget available and the grants available to the school. Okay, so now I'll go into what we're calling phase 3 of the project, and that is a substantial addition to your facility. We are looking at adding a flexible assembly space to the southern portion of the middle school. The gray box there, I don't know if I can point, I'm not going to try to point, is the gray box at the top of the page is the existing music classroom in the middle school, and we are proposing an addition southbound of that is a multi-purpose assembly space. So you can see that it will have its own entry directly to the exterior. It has restrooms, small concessions, food prep area, a small office, and other support spaces. And then the large space in the green with the seats that you see is the large multi-purpose space. We do have a stage area that will support that space as well with associated storage. So these are some views that we have created just to give you a sense of what that space, how that space could be used. We are proposing for seats, retractable seats. So they retract, meaning they're, it's a typical upholstered seat that's mounted on a retractable platform that will slide back. So that, like in your gymnasium, all of those seats slide all the way back to the rear wall and really open up the floor space. So you can see this is a view from the stage with the seating completely out. And then this is a view looking back toward the stage with the seating completely retracted in. And the idea here is that it can be an assembly space, a versatile assembly space for the school and for the district. You know, we talked about having a space where you could have a performance on the stage, but we also talked about a space where you could have an additional PE class or even indoor training for your student athletes, for your teams, if there is an event of inclement weather. Just a big, you know, high volume space for the students to use, the students in the school to use. This is another view showing those retractable seats against the wall. And then we wanted to just bring you some real pictures of where we've seen this elsewhere, schools that we have done, but in other facilities that we have visited. So this is one example in the middle of the state that has a space similar to this. This is another space in Anderson Institute of Technology. So you can see this is the type of seating we would be proposing. It's an individual upholstered seat with a back and armrests that holds. And then, you know, these rows of seats are mounted on a tiered platform that retracts. And then here's another one, you know, where it shows the seating collapse, but it also shows tables and chairs can be brought in. So, you know, you all can have training, per se, professional training in the space. And we, of course, would want to, ensure that the space has the appropriate utilities installed in it, like projector, lighting, you know, sound, acoustical sound panels where we need it from the ceiling and the walls. That always becomes important when we're thinking about a large volume of space. And then just some other views of the addition. This is a view of the lobby, the entry lobby. We envision it as a nice light-filled space that's welcoming to the visitor once you come in from the outside. And then these are some views, some sketchy views of the overall facility. You can see the addition in the back, closer to the tree line. And then here's another view of it with the bird's eye swing having been swung around. Are there any questions about that portion of the work so far? I'll just back up. Board members, do you have any questions? Okay, sure.
So I remember last year we talked about it, you said they were gonna do like outlets so the kids can hook up their devices. Are we still doing that?
Yes.
Cell phone?
Yes,
Instead of using chargers and tablets?
absolutely. That's the idea that we had for this bar here, actually in the cafeteria, and for the pit area, the same. Any other questions? It's much safer, and there are certainly degrees of festivals that we design to these days, and I think oops, we did just want to touch on schedule a little bit. So currently, phase 2, the interior renovation, the work that I talked about in the cafeteria, commons, and administration area is bidding now. MBCon is working really hard to contact their subcontractors and industry partners to get pricing for the work. And then we anticipate starting construction this spring. So, and that will ensue through the summer. In terms of phase 3, the assembly edition schedule, our team, after we made some revisions to the design, per Dr. Cave's nudging, we're full steam ahead on wrapping up our construction documents so that we can get those documents into MBCon's hands. We anticipate having a budget check mid next month. We also plan for our civil engineering partners to start the permitting process, which is somewhat of a long process, but we think that we can move through it, and we might lean on Dr. Cave and the South Carolina Department of Education's help to move that through seamlessly. And then we anticipate the bid documents and bidding and final pricing to really be developed early this summer. And then we are hoping to start construction toward August. So, any other last questions? Final thoughts, comments?
We're excited.
We're excited too. We're really excited too. I don't know that I've ever been to a board meeting where you talked about love. And I just want to come back next month when it's Valentine's Day. What are you really gonna do? What are you gonna do then? I don't know that you can top this. So, I'm a lifelong South Carolina resident, and I'm very passionate about the schools and designing schools for you all, for communities like this. So we're just very grateful for the opportunity, and we thank you. And thank you, Dr. Cave and board, for trusting us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? I'm here. Ask them any questions you may have about the design, anything. And we're just ready to get started.
for the, ending of December statements, the amount of revenue collected through, December is $5,637,511. And the total expenditures through the end of December, $7,783,537. Again, it's still a deficit. That was through the end of December. Like I said, we all start paying our taxes around January. I think that's when the most, people will start paying their taxes, and we'll start seeing our revenue come in. And so through the end of December, there was a deficit of $2,146,025. Any questions through December? No questions? Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Thank you for all your hard work. Bringing through all this, and if you have one, you will find it.
Will y'all speak up, please?
Let me just say this, it is not me, I'm a part of the team, but I have the most amazing team there is. Matter of fact, I got two team members here. Miss Wade, stand up, Miss Wade. And Miss Jackson. But let me just say this, it's just not our team. We got bookkeepers in the school who's doing a great job. We got principals in the school that's making sure they do their job. We got, teachers and athletic coaches that when they collect money, that they do the right thing and turn it in and make deposits on time so we can record it properly. We have Mr. Fields and Ms. Kendra, who does the paperwork for transportation, because they're also part of that audit. So it's not just us, there's a lot of people involved. And so in order for us to do this, we all have to work together. So it's not just me, we have an amazing team.
So we'll need a board action to accept the, financial reports for the month of November and December. Board. You can't accept both of them.
For a motion that we accept the financial report for the month of November and December. Second.
Do we have a discussion?
Report. So I think we have a copy of the budget calendar, what we'd like to go do next. So you know, this is budget time, so we have to do some work together as a board and as a community. We have prepared the budget calendar, the finance department along with myself we prepared the budget calendar. So if you can go down and see where we are currently, this week through the 7th of November, 7th of February, we'll be meeting with principals. We've already had a lot of work done with the cabinet already. Then we'll be traveling to Columbia to present the budget to the State Department, or either they will come here. We'll have more budget workshops. So on the 10th, I'm proposing that we have our first budget workshop together, because we need to go over the budget with you and tell you what cuts we're proposing. Then we'll have our regular board meeting where we'll have the first reading of the budget. And then we have to have another budget workshop. I'm proposing that to be March 18th. Then we'll have our regular board meeting. And then on budget workshop 3 will be in April. And then our first reading of the budget will be in April. Second reading of the budget will be in May, and the third reading of the budget will be in June, and hopefully by then legislature has made all the decisions that they're going to make, and we can approve our budget. So this is the proposed calendar from the finance department and the office of the superintendent.
Ms. Grant, you have anything you'd like to add?
So we need action that this will be our accepted budget calendar, and we'll move forward because we have to make the public aware, because all workshops and all are open to the public in case they'd like to come in and add any input. So we need a motion to say that we are willing to accept the budget calendar.
I'll offer a motion that we accept the budget calendar for the 2025-2026 school year.
Moved by Ms. Clark and second by Ms. Grant, that we accept the 2025-2026 budget calendar. We have a discussion. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
All right, thank you so very much, board. So, I'll remind you about those meetings, those budget meetings. Sometimes we hold them in, the district office, and sometimes we hold them at the school. Okay, all right, thank you so very much. Okay, now we're down, anything else you want? Ms. Grant, are we good? Okay, thank you. Now we're down to the part that I find most joy in, and that's recognizing our children. And because they are the best customers in the world. They are our only customers. So we're going to do some recognitions now. They will receive a $25 gift card, and they get some other trinkets along the way, okay? So if I pronounce your name wrong, I take it for love, because some of the names I don't get right. I think this is Allendale Fairfax Elementary School, and we have, is this Kamaya Rouse? Yes. Yes. So Kamaya is a first grade student in Miss Riddle's class. She's extremely helpful and dependable. She's always willing, and she's a little shy, ready to assist her teacher at any time. She loves to learn and volunteers to assist her classmates. I'm so fortunate to have her in her class. Let's congratulate Kamaya. Next, we have Roxy McCullen. Is Roxy here? She was here? Okay, they had to leave, okay. We'll make sure that Roxy gets her gift. Roxy is a smart, energetic 7-year-old in Miss Fagan's first grade class. In class, she's known for her outspoken nature. Whether it's a question, idea, or unique way to solve a problem, Roxy's not afraid to share her thoughts. Let's congratulate Roxy McCullen. And then Kyle Harley, is Kyle here? Okay, is that Kylie or Kyle? Kyle. So Kyle Harley is a 3rd grade student who exemplifies the qualities we value in all his classes. Kyle is always well-behaved and attentive. He approaches every task with a positive attitude and a strong work ethic. Let's congratulate Kyle Harley. Last but not least, we have Regine Carlton. Regine here? Regine is a senior at that school, so she's a 5th grader. She likes learning and helping her peers with their learning. She's focused on doing well and speaks about her future with pride and maturity. Congratulations. She constantly maintains great grades. Allendale Fairfax High School is next on my list, and that is Miss Rebecca Powers. Is Rebecca here? Okay, so Rebecca is a senior honor student, and she serves as the battalion commander of the JROTC, Tiger Battalion. She's dependable, self-directed young lady who takes the initiative to get things done. She's an extraordinary young lady and plans to enter the military after graduation. Let's congratulate her back. Our student athlete of the month is Jalen Outing. Is Jalen here? Let's congratulate Jalen Outing. He's probably practicing. That's what a student athlete does. Okay, all right. Allendale Fairfax Middle School, Aiden Isham. I saw Aiden. congratulate.
Keep rolling, you know what to do, you used to do.
Right. We always congratulate him. And that's grade 8. So grade 7 is Sean Rivers. Is Sean here? Okay, let's congratulate Sean Rivers. And then grade 6 is Alicia Bryant. Oh, Alicia. An outstanding student, follows directions, and always willing to help. Let's congratulate Alicia Bryant. All right. I'd like to recognize our students in the month of December because there was a mishap and we didn't get to recognize them. But it's Kaylin, is Catherine, is it Schuyler? Is Catherine here? Congratulations. We missed their recognition during December. Congratulations. Is Alexis Bynum here? All right, she's from the elementary school, as well as Zuri Washington. Hey, look at Zuri. I wanted to make sure that I read all about them at the last meeting, but they weren't here, so I wanted to make sure that they were here. Zuri. They're looking for it, I promise you. Sorry.
You got it, baby.
All right, you stay. You have that face like that. Find my bag. Brianna Harris, is Brianna here? All right. How about that, Brianna? Congratulations, dear. All right. Down there, Fairfax Elementary. And then last but not least, we have Tyler Shiggs. Is Tyler here? So thank you so very much. We already did that. Did we do Alexis Bynum? I called her, she's not here. Wonderful. Now we'd like to recognize our champions in the classroom because the students could be who they are with our teachers giving all of that hard work each and every day. So our teacher of the month for Alabama Fairfax Elementary, and we hated to see her go, but that's Ms. Rose Stanley. Is Ms. Stanley came to the rescue. Came to the rescue. When we needed her as a kindergarten teacher in August, she graciously answered the call and taught the class for the first semester. She did a fabulous job. When a new kindergarten teacher was hired in January, I was there. She agreed to come back to help him with his transition. We cannot thank her enough for all of that. Don't put on all your retirement clothes yet. We may call you back. All right. Ms. Cache Robertson, is Cache here? All right. So Cache, Ms. Cache. Cation. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I pronounce it wrong again? Say one more. Say one, like they say, say one more. Caucasian. Got it. I don't know all their names. Caucasian Robertson. She's a classified staff member of the month. All right. She exemplifies dedication and positivity in her role as a teacher assistant. She does an excellent job at working with our special needs students. She consistently demonstrates a joyful and compassionate attitude, as you can see tonight, and creating a welcome and supportive environment. Let's congratulate. Out there, Fairfax Middle School is Mr. Dunson. He's our art teacher. He's not here this evening, but he's a phenomenal, talented individual who has a genuine love and concern for the children. And he really, really works hard to make sure they realize their great talents. I think we're getting ready to have an art gallery showcase very soon. So we look forward to you coming back and seeing all the wonderful artwork that the children in Allendale Fairfax Middle and High School are doing. Congratulate Mr. Dunn. And then we have Ms. Ava Russell Morrison. Ms. Ava Russell Morrison is dedicated to teaching and learning, and is evident in her day-to-day activities. She sets ambitious standards for her students and instills in them the confidence to reach it all. She is always prepared for teaching. I can say that, always. She's eager to learn and is always looking for ways. And I will personally say she's one of the most politest people that I have met. You are just wonderful. Thank you. Then our custodian, because we can't do it without them, Mr. Cleveland Washington. Are you here tonight, Mr. Cleveland? He's probably out there working somewhere. He is our custodian of the month, and our maintenance person, who works hard, and he's a jack of all trades. He can fix anything. Mr. William Becky. All right. And then our bus driver of the month is Miss Moselle Jones. Is she here? So, able to recognize all of our employees who will continue to do it. We'll make sure that they get their awards. So thank you so very much for coming and sharing in that with us this evening.
Dr. King, each and every one of our principals and their staff, even though it's Board Appreciation, I mean, you could have got up here and just said thank you for what you do. You didn't have to go out like you do with all the other children tonight. And on behalf of each one of the board members, we want to tell you thank you and we love you for everything you do for us. Thank you. At this time,
I left one important thing off. Thank you, the other board members. I left something very important off. It's our school calendar. So everybody should have a copy. All right, there are two options, board members, there are two options. So we work diligently on those two options. My apologies. I'm not looking at my agenda tonight. So we have two options that we have revised, and they're in draft form. We're still on a modified calendar. I believe that it works for us. The staff seems to like that, to get the periodic breaks. We had recommendations from staff from the various schools, and we put together two calendars. These will go out for public vote, and they will be put on our website. Also, they will be sent home with a calendar survey for you to give any input. We'll leave it out for about 3 weeks. And before next board meeting, I'll bring back the results, and we'll move forward with selecting our calendar. I'll make a presentation to you about which calendar it is with the comments that I received, and then we'll move forward because I'd like the calendar to get out in the community so that they can plan their times away or vacations or whatever they like to. Okay, so be on the lookout for the calendar and vote. Okay, thank you. I want your feedback because school is about schools exist for children. I want to be the best thing for them.
again, thank each and every one of y'all for coming. At this time, we're gonna go into executive session for personnel update, retirement, resignation, termination, hiring, and transfer. We thank you all so much for coming and have a safe day.
All right, this board, everyone, There's some food in this room. If you will go in here and get you a plate, if you don't want one, we have the turkey and dressing, macaroni and cheese, rice and gravy. Some other stuff back there. So get you, Board Appreciation Month. We don't do this all the time. But join us in there. Get you a Oh, Mr. Dustin is here. Let's give him a hand on this year. I thought she was gonna serenade us.
Tell everybody I said hello. Oh, I know, I miss y'all. I miss you.
Congratulations. How you doing?
All right, I'm standing.